As always,
It's your man Simeon with the one and only
your Chicago Fly Guy.
And this is the Real Talk Podcast. And we are on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio. And we missed you guys last week. What's going on, everybody coming on in? Sister Africa, I see you. What's going on, sweet
What's
juices?
up,
Everybody
sweet
come
Africa?
Come on in, y'all. Oh, so we want you guys to know that we want you guys to call in. We had a lot of people call in last week, but the problem was they were calling in while we were right in the middle of talking about something. So we missed the calls. So this time, call in when we can speak to you. All right.
Simeon, give them the number to call, bro.
The number is 708-223-8953. It's also, I'll pin it so you guys can get it, but you guys can call in, be a part of the conversation, real talk, real situations, and we doing our thing.
We love to hear from you.
Sister Africa, I see you. Hey, uncle, who is that? That's one of my nephews or nieces, somebody. But anyway,
our whole family be trying to call into the show.
Hey, that's all right. Call in.
His cousin's
Africa,
baby mama, you know, she dropped off the kids at the babysitter.
I ain't got no baby
she called in, all of them.
Hey, I ain't got no
Uncle
baby mamas,
Pookie, Uncle Lukey, all of them come for Thanksgiving, unannounced, uninvited. All Simeon's people. You know.
I got one baby mama, and I know who she is.
What's her name?
That's it. Only one.
Wow.
One baby mama. Tammy, that's the only baby mama I got. No more baby mamas. I put the wrong number here.
Come on, Sim.
All you fellas that got all them kids,
8953.
like 5 different baby mamas, shame on y'all. Y'all need to watch yourself.
Strap up.
Nobody got time for that.
Strap up. Be responsible.
Hey,
we talked about that on this show. Abstain.
As our boys will say.
You one better.
Man,
abstain.
His pull-out game weak.
Wow. Man.
I made Earl laugh with that one, y'all.
Deep. That's deep.
Oh, man. So everybody tuning in, thank you guys for tuning in. We got a good show lined up for you today. We got a great guest. We got the person-to-person letter. It's going to be pretty cool today. So we're going to have some fun. And you know what I'm doing after the show is over, Fly Guy, don't you?
What you doing? Going to buy a new pair of gym shoes?
Nope. The store will be closed. I'm going to catch the end of the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves game. And speaking about basketball, we'll come back to that, right? Yeah, we'll come back to that. So let's get it going, guys. You're watching the Real Talk Podcast with Simeon and the one and only Fly Guy. We are here in Intellectual Radio Studios. We here to get it in. Everybody tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go, Fly Guy.
You know, it's been a great week, Sim. So first and foremost, you know, your Fly Guy was at the DNC reception last week, and the protesters were there, and they booed me. They booed your boy.
Oh, that's because
they told me, look, they told me I wasn't welcome. I was shame on me. I shouldn't be there and all of that.
It must have been Trump fans.
Okay. No, they're protesting
what?
The DNC. They're protesting because they're against the war going on over there. They want Joe Biden to intervene. But here's the deal. Your Fly Guy had a police escort.
Okay.
I had a specific route that I was, you know, navigated through.
Mm-hmm.
And I could appreciate the attention because here's the deal. We know how to tone up, but we don't know how to tone down. And it's okay to protest. Protest means to disrupt, to stir up.
Yeah.
However, but what you don't get to do is impose your views on others.
That's true.
So it was okay that they booed me, and it was okay that they told me, shame on me, I didn't need to be there and all of that. Maybe that was the way of them showing me love. I don't know.
Let me tell you something, Fly Guy. I'm going to tell you like this. Earl, they can boo me. They can say whatever they want to, as long as don't nobody touch me. Because if you touch me, I'm whooping that ass.
When they used to boo,
I'm letting you know.
Fine. That's a fine. That's a fine.
Ass is in the Bible.
But here's the deal. When they used to boo Michael
Earl
Jordan,
laughed, so I ain't
when they booed Michael Jordan, that made him play hard.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm good. Your Fly Guy, I'm not disturbed. Because guess what? Today, my interview dropped a Negro Digest magazine.
Okay, let me do this for you. Because yes, he said Negro Digest magazine. Because when I saw it, I was like, what? I didn't know if it was saying, I don't know. But yes, it's Negro Digest magazine did a dope article on our boy, the Fly Guy, for his work with the youth and the things he's been doing in the community and just shining a light on the great guy that he is. I'm super proud of him. It's so funny because today he's at a school working with the youth. I'm at a school speaking at a graduation, and everything comes full circle because what we do is real. And Fly Guy, I just want to say congratulations to you, brother. That's it's a huge feat. It's a great honor when people recognize you for the things that you're doing because it's selfless and you do it from your heart. So I'm proud to call you my brother, and I'm proud to co-host this show with you, bro.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
So yeah,
And it was an honor to be tributed and celebrated amongst giants, amongst our ancestors and leaders. So Negro Digest has a rich history. It was started originally by John H. Johnson of Ebony and Jet
hmm
magazine. Before John Johnson birthed Ebony and Jet, he launched Negro Digest magazine. And Eleanor Roosevelt was one of the first to grace the cover of Negro Digest
oh, that's old.
magazine.
That it's been around
So
a long
it's a
time.
vintage
It's been
magazine,
around a long time.
and it's obviously been revitalized to meet the modern day publication. But to know the history of it and to know that I sit
Mhm.
amongst giants that have been featured in such a publication is an honor to be tributed amongst men whose shoulders that I stand and sit on. And they also talked about my professional work in
Yes,
media, the
of course.
podcast,
Yes, everything.
television, all of it. And so I'm honored. I'm
Did
really honored.
didn't you and Eleanor Roosevelt go to high school together?
No, see, now he being funny. Didn't you date Bathsheba?
I don't even know what that is.
Didn't you date Bathsheba?
I don't even know what
You
that
don't know
is.
who Bathsheba
I
is,
don't.
and you go to church and you
I
don't know
don't.
Bathsheba.
Oh no, she was
Oh,
in the Bible.
now I heard of
She's in the
David's
Bible.
wife,
Yeah,
David.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you don't know
yeah.
Bathsheba.
I do know who
We
she is. She in the Bible.
Earl, I think he needs to be rebaptized. This time in vinegar and salt water.
Dip me in the water one more time, and I'll be all right. Now, but but guys, we are at the end of May. May was Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to say I was honored to speak to a group of high school students about mental health awareness, and it was such an honor to do so. And I was giving them steps that they could follow because the thing is, a lot of times people don't want to seek help or guidance
Mhm.
and talk to people about what's going on. When you're dealing with something mentally, find someone you trust, someone you love, someone that you know you can talk to, so you can get the help you need. Because in the Black community, mental health was a taboo. We never thought about it. Or if something was going on, your uncles told you, be a man, get out of here, and and they shunned it off. But we have come to realize that mental health awareness is a real thing in Black, white, Hispanic, all people. So support people and let them know that you're there.
And that's true, Simeon, but we're going to get more into that with our phenomenal guest this evening. But as we're talking about health, we have talked about health on our show, and we've encouraged our audience to get mammograms, to get
Mhm.
prostate exams, diabetes, blood pressure checks, all of that. But as you're getting health checkups and you're
Mhm.
getting your annual physicals, it's important to understand about health insurance coverage. That's important because that's how you pay for that. And it's important to also understand and know real talk. When you go to an ER or when you go for urgent care or whatever the case may be, the first thing they're going to ask you is what health care provider do you have?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Because
so
yeah.
we that's important. It's important, which is why President Obama came out with affordable health care.
Yeah.
No US citizen, no American should be walking around without health care, just like no one should be driving without auto insurance. Insurance coverage, well, it's important.
That
And
was just
insurance
funny.
coverage
It is.
because you never know when a turn for the worst could occur and you have to be rushed to the ER. And don't think that they won't look at you funny or they'll act like they don't want to see you
Yeah.
because you don't have health care insurance. It's important to have health care coverage. And
Man.
so we know that there have been situations where people have sat in waiting rooms for
Mhm.
hours. Simeon, can you imagine sitting in the waiting room for hours and then when they call you, you don't have any insurance
So they
and then
won't
they
see
turn
you.
you away?
Oh, that's crazy. Man, I just had surgery on my elbow. Oh, my elbow is hurting, guys. Just so y'all know this. I want y'all to know that I'm smiling, but on the inside, I'm crying because my therapist told me up today. But it's coming along. It's coming along, but it hurts. But when I had to have surgery, it was so funny. I had did everything. And when
Mhm.
I get there, they were like, "Oh, they're checking this." I said, "You guys had me do the pre stuff. Then why you have me doing this? They want to make sure you have coverage, Earl, because if they don't, you ain't having
They're
that
not playing
surgery."
about that
They,
health
man,
insurance
look,
because that's how they get paid. Healthcare
yeah,
is a money-making industry.
we need to be like Canada. Canada provides health insurance for everybody.
Everybody should the two things that should be affordable is education and
Hmm.
healthcare.
Yes.
Those two things are highly critical. Now, Sam, we just celebrated Memorial Day,
Oh
the
man.
kickoff to the summer festivities. But before we can kick off to the summer festivities and y'all can eat your ribs and your baked beans and Ain't Juicy bringing slaw and Claudia bringing potato salad,
Wait,
we have to
wait.
honor our veterans.
We're not
Mem-
gonna skip right over that, Earl. Who is Juicy?
you, you know, ain't you know
I,
Juicy?
he
Oh,
said,
you
"Ain't."
know
I
Juicy.
know y'all heard him
Ain't
say that.
Juicy,
I'm
yes.
like, he said, "And ain't Juicy."
Ain't
I'm
Juicy.
like, wait a
She make
minute.
the best peach cobbler, baby.
There's no way Ain't
That peach
Juicy's food is
cobbler,
not good.
you sucking up that you
No
sucking up
way.
that liquor in
If
that
your
peach
name is
cobbler.
Ain't Juicy, your food
Yeah,
is the
come
bomb.
on with it,
Ain't
Juicy.
no way.
Put your big toe in it, ain't Juicy.
So
That's the
look,
best peach cobbler in the world.
my cousin Tasha and her sister Vina, and then Chris on the South Side. I was in Inglewood, y'all. I was in Inglewood. Made jerk chicken, jerk rice with with shrimp and potato salad, baked beans and all kind of stuff. It was so good. I'm watching what I eat, so I could only eat so much. But man, looking at all that food and it tastes so good. I mean, it had desserts and all of that. I
High
told him, I
blood
said, I can't
pressure,
hang out with y'all.
loaded sugar.
I'll be fat, got
Oh my
diabetes.
God. So, but we are talking about Memorial Day and the fun facts of it, but we also want to remember our veterans,
Oh
those
yes.
that have sacrificed and compromised. I have a lot of family members that were in the
My
U.S.
dad
Armed
was a
Forces. My
veteran.
dad was in the
My dad was a
Vietnam
veteran.
War.
Yep.
My dad was confronted with Agent Orange. He was exposed to Agent Orange.
Hmm.
My grandfather was in WW2. He was a staff sergeant in the Army, and I have an uncle, a great uncle, who was in the Navy. And so we want to salute and honor our veterans, all of you that have sacrificed your life, all of you that are on the front lines. The Gulf War in the 90s, that was no joke.
Hmm.
It's just been a lot, and the United States believes in intervening in foreign affairs, which is why a lot of the protests are going on now with Israel, with Gaza, and all of the places, Ukraine. There are a lot of things going on in a lot of countries, and we have to be careful. But our troops, men and women, are on the front lines, and we thank you
Yeah, we
for your
thank you. Y'all, you
sacrifice.
don't want to get me started. You don't want to get me started talking about the armed forces because I go in. I would never fight in nobody's war, period. Because I saw firsthand how they treated them when they came home. Because they went over there to fight for this country. They didn't. I think they didn't expect them to come back.
I
Because when
don't
they
know.
came back, I'm just telling you what I think. I
Mhm.
think they didn't expect them to win and or survive and come back. Because when they came back, they turned their backs on them. They didn't take care of them. They didn't give them the help they need. They didn't give them the mental help they need, the physical help they need, and then they made it hard for them to do anything. When they came back from fighting in that war, Earl, they shouldn't have had to do nothing. They should have got a check every month, twice a month after coming back and serving the country. They shouldn't have to worry about anything financially and physically and mentally and medically. But we know that wasn't the case. So I can go on all day. This is my personal experience
No, I do
that I
agree.
know.
I think the
You know,
U.S. should do better about not only taking care of veterans, but taking care of the
yes,
wives, the widows. My
yes,
grandmother
yes.
was 99, literally 99 years old, and unfortunately, she suffered from dementia. My
Hmm.
grandfather, as I just described, was in World War II, U.S. staff sergeant, a staff sergeant, I should say, in the U.S. Army, and my grandmother needed to have a particular level of medical care due to the severity of dementia, and the state of Illinois was not willing to incur the costs for that. They wanted that to be on my family and I, which was okay. But what about that family that can't
No,
afford
but
that?
that's not
And
okay.
it's not, no, it's not okay. I'm simply saying, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's okay
You saying
to the
that you
point.
guys could afford
It's
it.
okay.
I
It
get
was
that.
okay
Yeah.
for that, but it wasn't okay by principle. It was okay economically, but
Mhm.
by principle,
Mhm.
she should have been taken care of by the
Exactly.
state of Illinois because my grandfather was a veteran in the
Right.
U.S. Army. In addition to that, what about the family or that person that does not have those
Exactly.
resources?
Yes.
And so it's very unfortunate. And I see a lot of homeless men and women on the street that
Mhm.
are saying that they were veterans. And
Oh
I just
yeah.
think that we as a country have a level of responsibility that we should do a little bit better by
Mhm.
when it comes to taking care of our veterans.
We
But
just got to do better. We got to do better.
exactly.
Yeah. All
Come
right.
on, y'all.
So guys, there's been a lot going on in Chicago. All
As
right.
always.
And there's this whole controversial thing about the shot spotters that are supposed to be what they're supposed to be the global leaders in gunfire detection and analysts, and they they're taking it out.
Well, the mayor says the shot spotter is only 1% effective, that there is a low rate of effectiveness with that. It's a cost for it, and it's not doing what it's designed to do. So people are still getting shot in communities, people are still dying, and we don't have an idea. We can't find the shooter. We don't know who shot. We don't know what direction they went
So
in. We don't
they're
have
saying it's a
anything.
waste of money.
So, according to the mayor, now aldermen, city aldermen, are saying the opposite
Yes, I
because
know
there
that.
was just a combative encounter with aldermen and the mayor
Mm-hmm.
over the opinion of that. Aldermen believe that Shot Spotter is effective because it's helped with conferences. It's helped with like the DNC.
Mm-hmm.
So the DNC is coming. ShotSpotter has been known to have some effectiveness. Now, ShotSpotter is not only in Chicago, it's in New York, it's in Birmingham, Alabama, it's in Miami, it's in Goldsboro, North Carolina, San Diego, California, and
It's
it's
international.
international in
Yes.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah.
So Shot Spotter is being used. Why can't we find anybody in Chicago? Why can't we find the people that was going fast down Cottage Grove and they got a ticket in the mail, but we can't find who shot Bebe's kids?
It's all
We
like
don't know who shot the 5-year-old girl on Sunday morning. I mean, we don't know that, but we know who was going 45 in the 35-mile-per-hour zone. Where's the priority?
somebody knows. Somebody knows. But it's just one of those things where I think we have to start holding people accountable. I think
Well, we can't hold people accountable if we don't know who it is to hold.
exactly, yeah, that's true. But here's my thing, Earl. What do you think about this? Shouldn't there be, because they have this, that means that there should be people manning it, watching it, right? And if the cameras are on, are they watching it? Are they missing it? Like, how are you not seeing what's happening?
So what you have to look at logistically is what shows up on ShotSpotter. So when you see it, are you seeing a license plate for a getaway car? Are you
Mm,
seeing the face of the criminal? Are you seeing body structure? Like, is the footage dark? Is the footage clear? We have to look at what the ShotSpotter produced that would help police and detectives cover what is who's responsible for the
mhm.
crimes that's going on in our communities.
Right, right. And a lot of times now, especially people shooting, they're wearing masks, so we don't even see them. Like you see their bodies, but you don't see their face in the visual. But it's a lot of stuff going on, man. That's just not normal right now when it comes to gunfire and people, the way they're acting, the way they're treating people. Let's. I really, I just got to touch on this because this whole thing that's been going on with your boy,
My boy,
not
who
your boy personally. I'm saying, I'm just using the expression, your boy, P Diddy, right?
hmm
It's been so tripped
I
out,
knew that's what
man.
he was talking about, y'all. That's why he called him my boy.
It's been so, and not his
My boy
boy,
dragging
literally.
the woman down the hallway in the
It's
hotel in his towel, kicking her,
you know,
beating her.
man, he kicked her like a guy was kicking a field goal. Like literally,
But
he
and that's
kicked her
sad.
like, man, like how could you bring yourself to do a young lady like this and treat her this way. It's like, don't you have a mother? Don't you have a sister? Don't you have a daughter or someone close to you that like, my thing is, where's her brothers? Where's her
What if
uncles?
she
Where?
don't have
Because
any
I ain't gonna
brothers?
even lie.
But she
Sorry,
don't
Earl, I
need
gotta say it one
she
more
don't
time.
need to have
Man,
brothers.
I would have kicked P. Diddy's blankety blank blank blank. I don't care how much money he got.
Well,
I would have
first
called
of
him somewhere and
all,
hit him dead in his jaw.
I think a couple things went on with that. First of all, the young lady at the time that it happened, she was very young.
Yeah,
She was
yeah,
very
yeah,
vulnerable.
yeah.
And so I think had he been dealing with a veteran,
Oh yeah.
someone we would call a cougar, I think the outcome might have been different for him. I think that this young girl was afraid, naturally, just like anybody in an abusive situation.
Mm.
There's fear. And I think the fear overcame her.
Oh,
And all she was concerned about was getting out safe.
yeah.
She was being concerned with being able to walk away. Now, what prompted that, I cannot obviously describe nor condone or justify anything that that young lady could have done
Hmm.
that justifies that man doing her like that. I
Yeah.
lost all respect for him.
You're right.
I've
Yes.
I've
Yes, Chia.
never had any enthusiasm or sense of urgency
Right.
for men who beat women
It's
and
just
are
it's just
abusive to women.
it's just sad. It's
Never.
just sad. Like some of our viewers are commenting. You're right. You are absolutely right. Some men just don't care. Period. You're right. And it's one of those things where um you actually have to look back at their life and what they went through, where they came from.
Whether he went through
No,
that or
no, but
not.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Fly Guy. That's not an excuse. What I'm saying, I'm saying you don't like people. We know hurting people hurt people, right?
Right.
Right. So
Exactly.
let's say if you grew up around something and that's all you saw, or you were a witness to, or you were privy to seeing this negative behavior, this terrible behavior, and you never learned different, you might exude or exhibit that same behavior that you saw. And I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying that doesn't excuse anything, brother. I'm just saying learn a lot of this stuff is learned behavior.
It could be, but I'm gonna say based on this individual, I'm gonna say one word, and we can move beyond it. Arrogance is what I
Oh,
believe
definitely. Oh,
had to do with
oh,
a lot
definitely.
of it.
Yeah.
Arrogance, the ugliness of arrogance. But what's done in the
And
dark
money.
comes to the light, and karma is real.
Yep.
Now, a lot of wrong has been brought out that this individual was to
Hmm.
others,
Hmm.
and now it's all coming back to
Yeah.
haunt him.
Yeah.
So I don't wish anything on anybody, but the consequences are there, and we'll just have to sit back and watch and see how things play out.
Yep. Yep.
So
Well,
it's time
so
for the person to person
oh
letter.
yeah. So we have a letter, guys. So every week we have someone. Um, we will receive letters, and we'll decide which one that we're going to read. And we got a good one today. So it says, "Dear Real Talk, I enjoy your show. I have a sensitive circumstance. I hope you can help me with by talking me off the ledge." All right. Okay. All right.
You presenting the letter. Go ahead.
Right. Right. Earl, I don't know how good I am at talking people off the ledge, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I was recently out with a few of the fellas I hang out with after work. We went out for drinks. I noticed a little tenderoni. Tender? Did he say tenderoni? I noticed
Tenderoni.
he must be related to Earl. I noticed a little tenderoni solo at the bar. We began what appeared to be harmless conversation. As the conversation became more engaging, the drinks became more quenching. Before we knew it, the conversation became more engaging, and before we knew it, the evening had become late. I offered to walk this tenderoni getting me, bro, to her car and bid her a good night, only for her to say, "A gentleman always makes sure a lady gets indoors safe." I must admit, I was initially startled, and the young lady, what is
Was this an
was
invitation
this an
offer?
invitation offer? I took the bait by responding, "Well, you know, I'm a gentleman." I followed the young lady to her place. She invited me in, supposedly for more conversation. Naturally, once we were inside, one thing led to another. We were hot, heavy, and naked. Can we say naked on this? Okay, naked. Well, the rest you can figure out. Now I'm confronted with the fact that she burned me. Oh wow. You know, 3 days later, go see the doctor. I didn't think to stop at Walgreens. I was caught up in the moment. Don't judge me now. I need to know how to avoid my main girl because the bar chick got me in a hot predicament. I can't I can't all of a sudden break out a condom with my main girl. What should I do? Real talk, I'm challenged with what to do. I need solid brother to brother advice. You know, I'm gonna let Fly
Signed.
Guy. Oh, sign the burning sphere.
Well, we gotta
I'm
acknowledge
not.
the writer. We
I'm,
gotta
I'm gonna
acknowledge the
acknowledge
writer.
you, brother. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't have sent this letter in.
Well, no, you can't say what you would have done because
I can say what I would have done.
he's talking about brother to brother advice. And when you need somebody to talk to that don't know you, that you know they don't have no real opinion about you because they
Hmm.
don't know you, then that's what you do. And
Yeah,
that's what we're here for. This is what, this is our audience. And so we're here to give our best support in what your letter shares. And so it's interesting that you said that you guys got hot and heavy, and it sounded like you took that when she made the statement. A gentleman always makes sure a lady gets inside indoors safe. You thought to yourself, is this an invitation? So a light bulb went off somewhere. So you should have followed your first mind.
he
I
knew.
would have recommended.
You know, it was an
Right. So
invitation.
when you thought that, is this an invitation for something, then especially knowing you got a main girl.
Yeah,
Now, if you was the alcohol was talking and the
yeah,
atmosphere was moving you in a direction, then brother, you got to act responsibly.
yep.
And so that stop at the drugstore would have saved some of this. So now what you need to do is just hold off for a little bit. And because you want to safeguard your girl. And in all honesty, I think you should go ahead and tell it.
I knew he says, "I'm
That's
gone."
me.
I knew
That's
he was gonna
just,
say
but
that.
that's me, brother. That's me. Honesty, because here's the deal. How you gonna scream your way out from between the sheets with your main girl? He said he can't just break out a condom.
I got one thing to
So
say, Fly Guy.
what he gonna do?
Earl, I think you know what I'm finna say, don't you? Looking back over the years, I guess I shed some tears. Why that song always come
I
back?
don't know, but that's your go-to for every that's your go-to for every letter. And so
Hey
it's
man,
relationship building, Sil. You got to
hey
tell him.
man,
Tell the brother.
hey brother, hey,
You motivate. You
hey.
every day. Simi Henderson come out with a motivational sermon,
It's
and now
nighttime.
this brother wrote in looking for advice, and you got to give him something, bro.
I'm gonna email you, brother, and give you some real. I'm gonna email you. But no, man, you you have to be brother to brother. You got to be more responsible now. And we all made mistakes, so I can't even laugh at you. We've all made mistakes. We've all done things we shouldn't have done. We've always put ourselves in positions we shouldn't have been in. But you got to learn from it. You got to grow from it. And I hope you make the right decision. And but just keep your main girl safe. All right.
Right.
Oh man, we got somebody in from Nigeria.
All right.
Aina,
Global.
Prince
Yes.
Aina
Yes.
Wigway. What's going on, brother?
Yes.
My brother from Nigeria. You should come on, Aina, so they can see that we know people in Nigeria, in Africa.
That's right.
Well,
That's
well.
right. So this has been Real Talk. We're going to take a break. Hit us up at 708-223-8953. We have a phenomenal guest with us tonight, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back with our guest for the evening.
Yeah.
Waiting on somebody to get on your level. Waiting on that one that could just switch up the flow. Party every weekend, but still like to smoke at home. Here I am. 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 Sorry I was late, but damn, oh, here I am. 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 waiting on somebody to get on
This
your
is Real Talk, and
level.
I am your Chicago Fly Guy here with my main man, Simbo.
In the building.
Simeon Henderson. And as we told you before we took our break, we have a phenomenal guest with us tonight. Now, as Simeon said early on, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us none other than Tiffany Walker. She is with us. There are many stigmas which prevent Americans from seeking the much needed treatment and support of mental illness. Receiving a proper diagnosis is necessary for being prescribed proper medication. Statistics reflect that 1 in 5 adults will be diagnosed with mental illness. People, if you are not mentally okay, it's okay to acknowledge your truth. Yes, it's okay to not be okay, but in the interim, please seek help and support. So, once again, joining the Real Talk conversation tonight is Tiffany Walker. Tiffany is the visionary behind the Blind Faith Chicago nonprofit. Blind Faith Chicago will be hosting the epic 2024 Fun Olympics Saturday, July 20th at Calumet Park. That's 9801 South Avenue G in Chicago. Chi City, y'all wake up, get ready. 1, 2, 3, get ready, get set, let's go. 2024 Fun Olympics Saturday, July 20th at Calumet Park, 9801 South Avenue G in Chicago. And now here to tell us more about the mission of Blind Faith Chicago and the Fun Olympics is Tiffany Walker herself. What's
Hey,
up,
Tiffany?
Tiffany?
What's up, everybody?
What's
Y'all hit on a lot of topics in a short amount of time.
Oh, we
Man,
are
I was
good.
trying to
I
keep
know.
keep notes so I could come on
No,
and
we-
like say something about some of those.
Tiffany.
So like, dude with Tenderoni, he's gonna need to talk to his girl.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you, Simeon, he needs
Of
to tell
course
the
she
girl?
gonna say that.
I was thinking like I would want my dude to say something to me.
Yeah.
But
Wouldn't you be mad though if he told you he followed her out the bar, made sure?
I'm trying to understand why he thought all of that was okay,
Yeah.
but you know,
I was thinking the same
I was
thing.
like, all of that,
Think like a man,
everything
act
was
like a lady.
wrong
Mhm.
from the get go. You in the bar, you got a girl at home. Think about the girl at home. It's like when my kids was little, I would always say, think about how I'm going to respond before you do the behavior. Think about what your mother's response is going to be, and if you going to be okay with what my response is going to be, then go ahead and do the behavior.
Okay.
Oh,
That makes
that's
sense.
smart.
That makes
Right.
sense.
That is.
That
That's
makes
real
sense.
smart.
I want you to say, Tiffany, I
So-
want you to say hello to somebody.
Hello,
All the way coming all the way from Nigeria.
hi
And-
Nigeria.
and let's see. Is he are you there? Let's see.
Is he still there?
Aina, if you can come back and I guess I hit it too late. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
But so Tiffany,
Yes.
let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Take us down memory lane. So
Okay.
what prompted you to launch Blind Faith Chicago?
So, Blind Faith Chicago is the result of 11 words. And the 11 words were, if you do what I tell you to do, you'll never go back. So, and that is what happened after my last hospitalization related to my mental health.
Okay.
I had multiple hospitalizations because, well, I got mental health challenges. And in my last hospitalization, I was sitting in the room the day before I was supposed to get discharged, actually. And Lord said to me, if you do what I tell you to do, you'll never go back.
Okay.
So my mom and dad come to visit the day, and I tell my mom, I said, God is talking to me. And she said, don't you tell nobody that because they going to keep you. And I said, but Mom, God is talking. She said, I hear you. And I believe you that God is
Right.
speaking to you. But don't you tell nobody hear that
Right.
because they will keep you. And it's time for you to come home. So I said, like, okay, I won't say anything. And sure enough, I discharged. And so then we get home and she said, okay, well, what God is telling you? I said, he said, if I do everything he tells me to do, I'll never go back. So the first thing was coming out the closet. And my dad was livid about that. He was like, we don't have to tell nobody. We don't have to tell nobody. And that falls into that whole stigma thing that people of color, well, I think mental health in general, but most specifically people of color deal with. And I was like, well, Dad, you got 30 days. And 30 days from today, I'm coming out. And so I came out with him.
When you said coming out?
I was telling people
Uh-huh.
because they didn't tell anybody why I was in the hospital. It was just I was in the hospital.
Right.
So I gave them 30 days. In 30 days, I launched a blog called My Bipolar Life. And I talked about everything that had happened up until that point, all the loss that I experienced, all the struggles I had raising my kids and everything. And I did that for a while. And then um, God dropped those words again. And he was like, it's time for you to do something else. So then we did some other stuff. And then eventually he was like, you still not doing enough. So he said, every time it was time for me to do something more, those words would drop. And when he dropped that, I was like, okay, God, I don't know nothing about running a non-for-profit. But he said, my son always tells me God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the call.
Oh wow. Okay.
So Deacon Shelton knows. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
No, I'm Deacon
Yeah.
Shelton still.
Okay. So Deacon Shelton knows my son.
Yes, y'all. He's a deacon.
Yeah, well, that's how I know him. Okay, and he, knows my son and knows how our relationship is, and so he's always like, and he knows how powerful my relationship is with my son, and so I was like, well, say I'm not sure I'm really ready for this, and he was like, Ma, it ain't about what you ready for. You remember the 11 words, and I'm like, yeah, and I know if I don't do this, then I'm gonna go back because I trust God immensely.
Okay.
And one of our pastors, one of the preachers at our church always said, it's not whether or not you believe in God, it's do you believe God? And there's a distinct difference. And yes, I believe in a God, but I also believe my God. And so here we are all these years later. And anytime I struggle and wonder, okay, did I do the right thing? Something always pops off to remind me that this nonprofit is doing what it's supposed to do. It struggles at times, but I've never felt that it was the wrong decision. So our name is Blind Faith because we walk by faith and not by sight in what we do. So it's very clear on what we do. We are out there educating and advocating for mental health in communities of color. We are very clear. There are so many organizations that are out there that are just about mental health. Our mental health focus is strictly for communities of color because that's the community that is often lost. When we were trying to find me resources when I got out of the hospital, finding resources for people that look like me was very difficult.
Wow.
I get that. Yes.
That
It's-
is interesting.
And that's what it's like a blessing that you're on here because we're talking about that. It's also like that for in the medical field as far as like home care and things like that. There's not a lot of focus on either people of color, low income. They get terrible home care, and like if they have to go to hospice or go to a rehabilitation
Well,
facility,
that's what I do for work,
is
and we can talk about that
terrible.
offline.
Yeah,
but
it's
that's a whole
terrible.
nother that's
Yeah.
a whole nother ball of wax.
Mhm.
But the truth of the matter is, a lot of the reasons why we find that people don't go to the doctor is they don't get the cultural care. So I happen to have located a therapist who looks like me. She talks to me the way I appreciate being
Mhm.
talked to. And you find that you want somebody who is going to treat you the way you want to be treated. Um and so it took a while though. I went through, I tell people all the time when you're trying to find a therapist, therapy shopping is very hard. It's like um, trying to buy a car. You kind of know what kind of, if you don't know what kind of car you're looking for, it takes a while till you find the car that fits right, that's the right color, that has all the amenities. This guy, when my dad was getting ready to buy a car, he knew he wanted a moonroof, a sunroof. It's got to have this, it's got to have that, and it's got to have auxiliary, it's got to have Wi-Fi. Like he knew all the amenities that he wanted. So it took him a while to find the car that met his need. And then once you have all these amenities, now you got to figure out, okay, can I take a few off? Because you're not going to necessarily find everything that's going to fit in your budget. Right. And therapy shopping is very similar to that when you are trying to find somebody that you're going to feel comfortable enough to sit down and open up every part of your soul to. And that's a very hard thing. So when I got out, I had to find somebody that I felt comfortable with. And it took me a couple of years. And then I finally found somebody when I went into her office. It's like the heavens opened up because I walked into her office and it was like, oh, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is
You
the space.
knew.
And I've
Yes.
been there for 8 years. And she is retiring in like 4 years. And she's already preparing us for her retirement. And I'm
That-
like, wait, what? You when? How long? You
wow.
no, I'm not ready. And she's literally preparing us for her retirement 4 years from now,
Transitional. That's
because she
smart.
knows that that's going to be a very difficult thing for us, for those of us that have been with her for so long.
Right.
That's interesting. So, Tiffany, you talked a little bit about this, but can you talk to us about why in the African American community? Because Blind Faith focuses on the African American community, and in the African American community, we have a lot of taboos which prevent us from acknowledging and getting the
So
help. Why do we
it's
think that is?
let's just go
What's so
way back.
shameful about it?
Let's just go way back to the fact that we don't trust doctors. Let's just take it way back. We don't trust
Okay, so
doctors.
educate us.
We are, and I want to educate clearly on, a lot of people want to throw in the Tuskegee experiment, right?
Mhm.
So let me educate real quickly on the Tuskegee experiment. The Tuskegee experiment, they did not give those men syphilis. Let me give you that educational piece right there, right? So many people are running around the community, they gave them syphilis.
Well, that's why they weren't going to take the COVID shot.
Right. They did not give those men syphilis. They just didn't treat them for the syphilis that they had. However,
Sound like the real talk letter.
it is. But despite the fact that experiment did occur. So let's start with that. So we already don't trust doctors, right? And then there are other experiments that have occurred. You've got why can't I say her name? Henrietta Lacks, right? The people at Johns Hopkins, they took her cells without her family's permission.
Right. Exactly.
And honestly, we as a nation are living because of Henrietta Lacks. Her cells are still part of what allows us to live, because of the cells that they took from Henrietta Lacks 50 plus years ago, right? The HeLa cells, they're still reproducing.
Wow.
Right?
This is good information.
But we don't trust doctors. So that's the first thing.
Mhm.
Then if you do get a doctor, you want a doctor that is culturally competent, right? So I don't care what color the doctor is, white, black, green, polka dot, right? You want a doctor that's going to be culturally competent, to be able to sit there and talk to you so that you are understanding, they are understanding where you're coming from, right? So even if you go and you see a doctor that looks like you, if they're still not treating you in a way that helps you feel comfortable with them, it's still not a culturally competent provider. You can walk into a doctor's office and everybody in that practice looks just like you, but nobody in that practice is going to treat you the way that you feel comfortable. Therefore, it's not necessarily a culturally competent doctor.
I get that.
Right. So there's all of that. Then, so we got the stigma of we don't trust doctors. We got doctors that are not culturally competent. Then you add on to, what did you say earlier in the show today, that uncles say, man, just man up. That doesn't work. And how many generations of just man up has that not worked?
False narratives.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Right? So let me just make it real clear, right? So your brain controls your entire body. If your brain told your heart to stop functioning right now, what would happen to your heart?
You would have a heart attack.
Right? If your brain told your arms to stop moving up and down, what would happen to your arms?
They would stop moving.
Exactly. Your brain is what controls your entire body. So what do you think you need? What part of your body do you think you need to get functioning best?
Your brain,
Your
your
brain.
mental.
Yes.
Exactly. So we did a workshop out at Reverend Reginald Williams Church out at in University Park. And one of the ladies there, she kept going back to, I get sick and then I get sad, then I get sick and then I get sad. And I said to her, you got it backwards.
You get sad. then
You're
you get sick.
sad, then you get sick. And then you're sad again, and then you get sick.
So her emotion was making her not feel well.
Absolutely.
That's why they say dis-ease brings on disease.
Mhm.
When you're
Oh, wow.
stressed out,
Your
when you're stressed
brain
out, yes.
controls your absolute body.
Real talk, you should be being very informed. So hit us up at 708-223-8953 and have a conversation with Tiffany. I'm sure she can help you out with something. 708-223-8953.
We're gonna have to do a whole hour with you because I looked at the time. I'm like, man,
We got to keep it moving, but she
Man.
dropping gems.
Yeah. We ain't have to ask you questions. You see, I'm looking down the line. You done answered all the questions.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
That makes it good. You're doing
It's
your
real
part.
talk. This is
Real
but
talk.
this is what you have this as a guide, but you're giving what
And
we
they
need.
calling.
You're giving what we need. Let's answer a call today.
Okay, what do we do here?
Hit the right one, Sheldon.
You're on with Real Talk. This is your fly guy.
Hello, Fly Guy. My name is Sydney.
Hello, Sydney. Welcome to Real Talk. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I hope you're enjoying the conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did you have something that you wanted to offer or a question for Tiffany?
I actually had a question for Tiffany.
Okay, proceed with your question.
Hi, Sydney.
Absolutely.
Thank you for calling in.
Wait a minute.
No, thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, Sydney.
Yes.
Don't you call this show no more and not speak to me and just speak to Fly
That's
Guy.
Simeon Henderson.
Good evening, Mr. Henderson.
Good evening. No, we ain't gonna do that.
She put on her sexy
No,
voice for
no,
you,
we
Simeon.
aren't. How are you this evening?
How are
I'm
you
doing
this
good.
evening?
Thank you so much for calling in.
And I'm your flight attendant, and I'll be working rows 1 through 4A, first class.
Well, I won't be working roles 1 through 4A, but maybe Fly Guy will. But now go ahead, ask your question,
Sydney, and
darling.
present your question to Tiffany.
Yes. So, good evening, Tiffany. I just want to say thank you for being on this evening. I'm enjoying all of the gems that you are dropping about blind faith. Thank you for that. I want to know if you could dive a little deeper into seeking the therapist. I've been therapist shopping for quite some time, and I want to know if you have any tidbits you can offer us listeners about how we interview them. Because I think that that's a two-way kind of thing. You interview them and they interview you to make sure that you all are going to work together in that relationship. Are there any things you can give to help facilitate that? Just little tidbits of, things to look for outside of gender and race.
Okay, sure. I can answer that question for you. So, outside of the fact that you need to, of course, check with your insurance company to make sure that they're covered. And then you, of course, eliminate gender and race. You want to, the first few sessions that you'll have with your therapist, you want to make sure that they're going to ask you questions in regards to why you are seeking therapy. Any therapist that sort of comes in the room and drops a therapeutic plan without questioning you, that's not your therapist. For example, my therapist, the first 3 to 5 sessions, we went through some questions that she has on her iPad. So I guess that's where she starts her programming.
Standard.
Okay? And initially I was like, when are we going to talk about what I'm really here for? But, that's me being type A, trying to take control of a situation. However, what I realized after that was that that's what was creating my therapeutic plan. I do recall going to some therapists prior to that, and they was just sort of, I would walk in and they were like, okay, so, yeah, I see you have this treatment. You have this diagnosis, and this is what your plan is going to be. Well, you don't know me. So how can you determine what my plan is going to be? So that's going to be the first thing. One of the things, not necessarily first thing. The second thing is you trust your intuition. When you walk into, and I believe God has given all of us the feeling of intuition. When you walk into a room or into a space, you know what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you walk into their office and you feel like No.
That they crazy? Okay.
Well, the therapist is crazy.
Well, no, not
Because
that.
I walked into a room and felt like that with a therapist before, and I knew that wasn't the space
And then that's
for
fine.
me.
But I'm just saying, even sometimes their offices, you like I said, my therapist's office, I walked in, she had fresh baked cookies and a fireplace. So, like I
Oh.
said, that was a very relaxing, calming
Inviting.
environment. I mean,
Right.
and I mean fresh
Mm-hmm.
baked cookies. You could smell the cookies had
Oh
just come out the
wow.
oven, and
Mm-hmm. On
cucumber
my
water.
way.
Now,
And
she
I
would have
was
had
Cookies.
Fly Guy at the cookies.
Yeah.
She would have.
she would
Oatmeal
have had you at the
raisin.
cookie.
She'd have had me.
I'm on my way right now.
So, that was since COVID, she no longer bakes them. She buys them in the bag. But still, it was just the
Okay.
environment was very
Right.
welcoming.
Yeah.
So if you feel
Yeah.
that as well. So
Wow. Well,
But
thank you,
That
Sydney, for calling
definitely
in.
answered my question. And I also want to just say thank you for stating that we can have God and a therapist.
absolutely. Matter of fact, I mean, for those who believe in a higher being, and it's not necessarily a God, but it doesn't matter your higher being, be it Buddha or
Mm-hmm.
whomever, you can have them both.
Right.
Wow.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you for touching on that as well. And I hear the board on your organization is fabulous. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. We appreciate you calling in and thank you for supporting Blind Faith Chicago.
Absolutely. Have a good evening.
Good night. Wow. That was good stuff. That
Yeah,
was good
this
stuff.
this has been very
A phenomenal. So we're gonna jump right into Fun Olympics because Tiffany has dropped gems. She's affirmed the community. She's talked about mental wellness, mental health, mental illness, and once again, real talk audience, if you're out there and you know that you are not okay, acknowledge your truth. It's okay to not be okay. We don't all
Absolutely.
have it all together. Even those of us that think we are quote unquote the normal, we don't always have it all together. And so seek
Fly Guy
your
think he normal.
resources in your community. Go to Blind Faith. Tiffany's going to tell you how to locate her, but Tiffany has an event coming up July 20th, the Fun Olympics. So
Yes.
talk to us about the Fun Olympics. How do we register? What does it look like? Give us the tea.
So Fun Olympics is a family friendly Olympic event held over in Calumet Park. We will be doing events like three-legged race, double dutch. We'll have a basketball 303 basketball tournament. So the bottom line of it is, I was driving down what is it? DuSable
Lakeshore Drive.
Drive now, Lakeshore Drive one day, and I saw a 5K, and I kept thinking, you see 5Ks all the time, and they're getting kind of old. So sat with some friends, we talked about what we can do, and we came up with this idea of let's get outside, let's have some family activities where the kids can come, the adults can come, we can all do these get healthy activities, which because of the endorphins that your body releases, it helps your mental health all at the same time, and raise money for Blind Faith. We can do it all at one time.
Dope.
So you can register. I will send you all the link for the registration.
Okay.
And while you register yourself, and then you put yourself a team together, and your team raises the money for Fun Olympics. We will have prizes for the team that raises the most for the
So
Fun
Simeon,
Olympics.
maybe we can be a team.
Well, I'm gonna say right now, it's July 20th.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be here.
You out of town?
You out of
Yep.
town?
Okay.
Soon
Well,
as you
I'll
said-
be there. The
soon as
Chicago
you-
Fly Guy
As
will
soon
be
as you
there.
said 20th, I would have thrown
Well,
something
so
at you.
here's the thing.
I was like, God, dog.
Well, you still
Well,
can
here's the
donate.
I know
thing,
I
though,
can help,
but
I can be a
no.
part of the team.
Here's the thing. We're also going to set up a virtual. So even if you're unable to be here to be at the event,
That's cool.
you'll be able to put together a virtual team. And so with the virtual teams, you all will still be able to raise funds as a virtual team.
That's cool.
Awesome.
So for people who do not live in Chicago and still want to participate.
I don't care if I only raise
That is
$100.
awesome.
I'm gonna raise something.
So lastly,
Yes.
Tiffany, so we're gonna have to wrap up. Tell our viewers how they can see your Blind Faith social media pages.
So
or
Blind
whatever.
Faith Chicago is also on Facebook. We have our website is blindfaithchgo.org. You can reach us at info@blindfaithchgo.org. Our phone number is 872 202 3513.
All right, you have heard it. You heard it here first at Real Talk Intellectual Podcast, at Intellectual Radio and iHeartRadio. I am your Chicago Fly Guy, and Tiffany Walker has talked to you about mental illness, the Fun Olympics. Hit her up, 872-202-3513. Info at blindfaithchicago.org. Simeon, what you got in inspiration for our audience
Thank you
this evening
so
before
much.
we sign
Thank you
off?
so much. No, you do your inspiration first.
So I'm gonna tell you, stop thinking too much. Sometimes we overthink things. We're talking about mental illness. So I'm going to drop you with that gem. Stop thinking too much. You don't always have to have the answers. I know we all want to give the right answers. We want to give the last remark and all of that, but don't overthink it. Just get up, go out and do it.
And I want to leave you with this. The 3 Ds. I want to talk to you about, where are you trying to go? You have to understand that you have to have a destination and you have to have determination, and these will lead you to your destiny.
All right.
So you have to have those things in order to be successful or achieve your goals and walk in your purpose, because when you have a destination and you have determination, you will get to your destiny. So you have to think about that and move on that, because nobody's going to wait for you. And don't be looking for people to do stuff for you. You have to look within first. I said it before and I'll say it again. You have to impress yourself first. If you can't do it for yourself, how can you expect someone else to do it for you? I'm your man,
important.
Simeon.
If that oxygen mask go down, they're going to tell you on the plane.
Put yours
on first.
That's it.
Take
Thank you
care of
so
you.
much, Tiffany. I appreciate
Thank you so much for having me. I
All of
greatly
the gems you
appreciate it.
dropped, people been watching. They've been getting it. My man, Fly Guy. Once again, it's on. Keep watching and keep supporting Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio, Real Talk with the Fly Guy and Simeon. We'll see you next time. Be symbolic. Peace.
Waiting on somebody to get on your level. Waiting on that one that could just switch up the flow. Party